I'm not very academically gifted, so I remember when I got my GCSE results, I did really quite well, and I remember all my family being shocked because the way they said it, they thought I was thick. But for me, all I wanted to do was go to the gym. I remember going to school just thinking about what I was going to do in the gym on the night. I'd come home from school, go straight to the gym, come home, have my tea, get in the bath, go to bed, and that was my routine. And I never ever thought that boxing would be a career for me. I didn't. So I always knew that I had to study and, work hard to get the results I wanted to go to college. So it was hard, but I knew it was something I had to do, study. My name's Savannah Marshall and I'm a professional boxer. For my work experience, I spent 2 weeks working for my dad's roofing company. So for me, my dad was a roofer. So I remember thinking, right, well, if I go to work with my dad, he'll probably pay me because you don't get paid for work experience. And he probably just won't even bother getting me up to go for work. So I just, in my head, I thought, right, I'm going to get paid and I'm going to get 2 weeks off. But so I decided to go to work with my dad, and he didn't let me have 2 weeks in bed. But he did pay me, but it was just more doing like office work and that sort of thing. It wasn't physical. He wouldn't ever let me do any of the manual work, but it was, for me, it was a good experience of a 9 till 5 rather than school, what was 9 till 3. And also be in that environment where you're not messing about with your friends at break time or dinner time. So when I did my work experience, it was more office work, things like answering the phones, taking down quotes, jobs, things like that. Obviously, dealing with people over the phone, that sort of thing. And when there was nothing to be done or there was someone else in the office, he had me out delivering leaflets for hours on end. The main reason why I worked with my dad, because he was my dad. And like I said, I knew he'd give me a bit of pocket money for going. So that was my main incentive. But I know there was kids applying to go and work in factories, shops, things like that. But because I was so within myself, I was so shy, I wasn't confident enough to go and work on a shop floor. I wasn't confident enough to go and work in a factory where I'd be surrounded by people I didn't know. Whereas I thought, right, if I go with my dad, I know there's only 2 people in the office. One of them was my brother, who I knew anyway, and I knew I'd be around people that I'd be comfortable. So I kind of stayed within my comfort zone. So I was quite lucky in that sense. Like I said, I struggled a lot with self-confidence. I was very quiet, very shy. So I struggled with communicating with people. So when people are ringing up, asking for a quote, things like that. So it was interesting for me to see, obviously my dad and other people in the office, customer service and how they would communicate with people, because I didn't have them skills at that age. So I remember at first really struggling with that. The types of confidence you will learn, being in them non-comfortable zones, speaking to people you wouldn't normally speak to, different kinds of people, older people, people who could be quite rude to you on the phone, and you've got to keep your form and be respectful. So they're the main communicational things that I learned, and that's not what you would learn in school. In school, you're being around your friends, teachers that you've known for years. So I took a lot out of them 2 weeks, and it did help improve my communicational skills. If a lot of people decide to go to college, some people decide to drop out of education and go straight into work. So having that 2 weeks work experience made me realise that I didn't want to go straight into work. I wanted to go to college, I wanted to continue my education. And if I never had them 2 weeks, there might have been a possibility where I thought, well, look, I want to go straight into work. And then before you know it, you've missed the start date for college and enrolling on courses and things like that. So that's what I took from that, knowing that I wanted to stay in education. I think it's really important because it's a step into the real world. And like I said, if I never have had that, I'd have been a bit delusional that, right, I'm going to leave school, I'm going to earn loads of money. I mean, in school you don't even learn about taxes or anything like that, or bills and things like that. So I could have been that naive that would have left school, thought I'd go straight into work, get a really good job, be earning money, not getting taxed on it, things like that. So I learned some valuable life skills from my 2 weeks of work experience. I think as many kids as possible should be encouraged to do work experience. I think that it's definitely something that should be experienced before children leave school. Like I said, it helped me a lot to decide what path I wanted to go on. So I do think there should be a big push behind it. Everyone should have a work experience story.